and gentlemen, welcome to Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet.
What's happening, everybody, and welcome to this, another episode of Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet, and this, a special episode of the podcast, as we could not get away without doing a review of the biggest house party that Scotland has ever seen. Yes, we're talking about ICW Shug's House Party 5, which happened this past weekend. This is a special podcast reviewing that show. I am the yearly crowned champ that runs the camp, Stephen Wilson.
Yeah.
Jealousy will get you nowhere, guys. Going on to jealousy, which brings me to my first panellist, the person who came second in the sweepstakes. That's the...
Stephen, you're welcome.
What? You didn't come second. I was talking about Sarah.
Yes,
Sarah,
I got Nathan Fisher, but by 2 points. What the hell?
The best part was Alan told me he thought we were neck and neck, and he was like 5 points behind me.
No, well, you guys were neck and neck on night one, and then he lost it on night two. That was he was screwed.
He never came last. That's an achievement for Alan.
No, he never. There was like 4 of them came in joint last.
Going into the main event on night 2, he thought he was neck and neck and had a chance of winning.
Yeah, there's me going, yeah, Stephen, you've won this.
Sarah, how's it going?
I'm not that bad, actually. I've still got like a half Ouija, half Edinburgh accent. I'm still trying to phase that Ouija accent out now that I'm back in Edinburgh.
Good. And our next two panellists, people have compared them to the Hunter brothers, apart from the hair and the talent. Pretty much everything. I don't even know. Only comparison with their brothers. It's Gary and Derek.
You're lucky that we're not recording this in person this time, Stephen.
Derek's speechless, which makes a change.
I cannot wait to see you face to face, Stephen.
Because you love me, really?
It's the first time anybody's ever said that.
Yep.
In seriousness, guys, how's it going? It's all good?
Very good. Yeah, very good. I've
Good, thank you.
almost just about got my voice back after singing along to Madonna on Sunday night.
Yeah, we'll come to that at some point, but that was a great moment. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit. Next up is someone who has been described as the better half of the Gunn Brothers. I'll let you make a judgment for yourselves. It's Scott McLeod.
There's no judgment when the other one was available. It just couldn't be arsed. But I'm always here. I can be described as the more loyal brother.
The more loyal.
Roscoe falls apart.
Yes.
Never.
The only member of the Roscoe brand on tonight's show.
Yes, I feel the conspiracy continues.
If anybody wants to see Scott on night 1 of Shug's House Party, he's the guy with the white cowboy hat. It's very visible throughout the full show. I
got compliments on that hat. Thank you very much.
Nothing against the hat.
Your mum doesn't count.
Yeah, and also, rounding off, I can't really say too much nasty things about this person, because she held a place in the queue for about 7 people on 2 different nights. And she was on time for the podcast, so she's doing 2 things right. Stacey, how's it going?
Fine, how are you?
I had to think if this was a Tuesday night. It's not going out.
Exactly.
Slick work, Stephen, slick work.
That's why you're here, Kwaku. Yes, of course, Kwaku's here, as always.
Alright, thanks for the grand entrance. Anyway, move on.
He'll be expecting pyro next week, Stephen.
Yep.
He's asked me to order it for the next show and the next recording.
Yep. And if you think I'm joking about pyro, listen to one of our shows where I set off a smoke machine in the studio. I've still not forgiven you for that.
We'll get you party poppers.
It's all love, baby.
Yes, so this is a special episode of Suplex Retweet talking about ICW Shug's House Party. So we are available on all good podcasting sites, iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, and also on all social media at Suplex Retweet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Right, guys, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Yes.
Right, let's go with the... Actually, let's start with the eldest. Let's go to Gary. Gary, what was your highlight of the first night of Shug's House Party?
Oh, there are so many. There's so many to choose from. It was such a great show. I don't know if it was just me, but going into the show, I wasn't as excited as I had been about some of the other ICW shows. I thought the build up to this was a little bit underwhelming. Partially because WWE NXT UK took away probably some of the big matches that they were building to. I didn't know much about the imports that were being brought into it, but one of my highlights of the first night, now I'm going to need some help with the pronunciation here, Kwaku, was Angelico. Yeah. I loved his dance moves, firstly, in the way to the ring, and I really enjoyed the match with Whiplash. I thought it was a really nice change of pace for the show. It started off with a bit of a bang, and this one took it in a slightly different direction. Great match. And then we had the twist at the end of the match where Whippy made us all believe he was going to hang up his boots before Avo saved the day.
Yeah, I mean, literally hang up his boots. He was taking off his boots, which was Billy Kirkwood described quite a lot in the ICW On Demand coverage as a big thing for wrestlers. But on that actual moment, did anybody think he was actually going to go through with it at any point? Or were they all confident something was going to be a twist?
I was hoping something would happen to stop him. But I did think that it was going to happen.
Only in Glasgow.
I'm glad that it didn't.
I'm glad he was helped.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think him coming back now as more as Legion rather than Mikey, more as a technical wrestler coming back as Legion's going to be so much better as well.
Yeah, I mean he's been in the Legion thing for a couple of years now, and I think it's a lot of the fans that come and watch know him quite well for that. I mean, obviously he showed how good a technical wrestler he is, but the Legion thing's always been the thing that kind of gave him a bit more of a connection with the crowd. I think it's fair to say. Especially on the match itself. I mean, for a lot of people, Angelico, they expected him to be a bit more of a high flyer, but he took it to the mat, which was a nice change for him. You thought it was going to be a bit more of a technical match, which you've seen from Whip in his recent style. So, what's your thoughts on the match itself, guys?
I really enjoyed the match. It's a good match if you're into that kind of wrestling, although clearly there was somebody who wasn't, because I could hear someone from the back shouting boring towards the end.
How dare they?
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
You sure that wasn't Laura? Laura describes technical wrestling at times as a big, massive game of knuckles.
That's one way of putting it.
I should hear her talk about Zack Sabre Jr. on the CWC.
Oh dear.
No, it was a great display, really, from both competitors, really. I loved a bit of the whole lock-up, and then when Mikey managed to slip out, and then he casually laid across the corner turnbuckle.
Oh, yes.
I loved that kind of moment of, is that your best? Come at me with more than that. I love that.
Yeah, it's really worth watching back if you've seen it live. It's really worth watching back because there's some little in-shape parts that you might have missed if you've seen it live, which you can see up close on the screen. But it's really clever, really great. Some technical wrestling, some of the counters, and the way they rolled through into different holds and manoeuvres. It was really fantastic.
Yeah, Sarah, you've been quite quiet at this point. Well, never thought I'd never say that. What was your thought? What was your thoughts on the match?
Well, obviously, everyone knows that I love Mikey Whiplash in all sorts, like Legion and as a technical wrestler. So this one, I was completely hooked. I couldn't take my eyes off of this match. I don't even know what it was. It was just like you could see the chemistry in the ring, and even though like those guys haven't met in ICW before, you'd think that obviously they put on stellar matches over and over and over again just by that one display.
Yeah, I mean, pals for 10 years, I think.
That's what I said in his promo. So you could kind of, that's what kind of Sarah's alluding to there. Yeah,
yeah, just showed the chemistry between the two of them, and it obviously made for a good match. And the moment at the end of it, obviously, when he went back to the Legion type thing after a couple of months doing the technical thing, it hopefully will lead to something good for Whiplash in the future. We kind of get an indication about that night too, which we may talk about in a bit as well. But yeah, that's a good one to kind of start us off on our best moments. On to the other Kiernan. Derek, what was your top moment for the last night?
I'm going to jump right in there and go for Lionheart versus Jackie, not just this Jackie.
Oh, like that.
I'll have you know, I'm still
Just
wearing
to
a white
wind
kit
up
right
most
now.
of the
You cold motherfucker.
You mean the hat that you forgot to bring to the show?
Yeah, let's be clear, okay?
Yeah, so
I mean, it was an amazing match. The pop for Lionheart kicking out in the one from the Styles Clash was just unreal.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
yeah, I mean, to me, looking back at it, it's probably one of my favourite moments as an ICW fan, like a live attendance. was the end of that match. For anybody who was standing near me and various other members of this podcast,
Yep.
Yeah.
you can actually see us on the on-demand, crowding round in a bounce.
You can see a lot of your reactions on demand and the faces of everybody in the front row. Fine Bell is worth the price of the subscription on its own.
I haven't seen that bit back yet, but I can only imagine it being
Oh, it's exactly as he's describing. I'll
Oh
be
dear
honest.
God.
I was standing right next to him. If you want an indication of how happy Ross was at Lionheart 1, he grabbed my hat and then forcibly kissed me on the cheek. to this day, the most affection he's ever shown me.
Well, it makes a change for Barramania when you guys would greet him, so...
True.
Yeah, but
I wasn't.
it was as Derek said, the whole finish was. I mean, it was a great match before that. I mean, the two of them. A lot of people said that maybe the Barramania match was better, but to me, the kind of finish to this match was a lot better. Obviously, I'm not just saying that as a Lionheart fan. It's just the kind of way it kind of built from the kicking out of the Styles Clash to the hitting every single move in his arsenal to finally finishing him.
Like, both matches were absolutely fantastic in their own right. They were fantastic for different reasons. This one, for me, like the whole thing about the Styles Clash and everything, like what I loved about it was with that sequence, it was just telling the whole story of the rivalry.
Yeah.
Really, because you had the moment of "This Is Your Life" and all that with Jackie making fun of Lionheart wearing the collar and stuff, using the move that caused the injury in the first place, and then the whole thing of Lionheart redeeming himself and kicking out after the first counts of that.
I don't think it made it to that. I think it was like at 0. It was like a straight kick out.
Yeah, and that's what started the resurgence and the eventual fall of Just Justice.
I mean, I think I've been fighting this for the last few days. Obviously, the ICW guys have had a lot of change in music recently. Do you think Lionheart's new music just suited his win perfectly? I thought.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
I love his new tune.
Oh, his new tune's amazing. I'm not even going to attempt it. It's a really bad impression.
Please don't.
I'm not. I sang enough of it on Saturday, don't worry. Fantastic. Quickly round the back, did anybody think this was better than the Barramania match all in, or did everybody thought the Barramania match was better?
I preferred this match.
Right.
I like this match a lot better actually, even though Just Justice fell, but I liked it better.
And see, for me, I think because, like, personally, because of the venue, because of the build-up and everything to it, I think this one beats it because of the whole thing that came around with it. Even though the result may not have been to what everyone wanted, it's just the whole occasion of it and how everyone got sucked into it. I think that's what elevated it that much more.
Yeah. Stacey, Gary, Derek, do you agree in that, or anything different? Any other thought?
I know this might only sound as though I'm saying this because of the outcome, but it's not. But I preferred the first match. I think it was just because of the way that it was like a roller coaster of emotions. You didn't know who was going to win. I thought both were fantastic matches, but I think I preferred the Barramania one.
I preferred this match that we just had here at Shug's. It's just, I was just watching it again before we come on again, and it was just everything about it. It was unreal. It was amazing. Yeah.
I think one of the commonalities between this match and the match at Barramania was the unpredictability of it. Towards the end of that match that was seen on Saturday night, I don't think you could have said with any certainty what way it was going to go. And I loved that part about this match, and when you hear it back with the commentary as well, they do a great job of telling the story and what this potentially means for Lionheart and what would happen if he moves. And as the guys were saying earlier on, the story that the wrestlers told throughout the match really came across in this one, and the impact of the styles clash and how that sort of, this is not, you're not going to beat me here tonight reaction we got from it, I thought was great. And plus the right man won this time, so this was the better match for me.
Oh yeah.
Just remember though, just on Lionheart
bigger
won.
Fish to fry now, hasn't
Still
he?
all to play for.
Absolutely, yeah. But this was one of my favourite moments I've ever seen live. This one, and I can't complain with the outcome. Let's move on now to Scott. What was your favourite moment the night one?
Well, I think two of my highlights have already been mentioned in the Angelico match in the main event, but my other highlight, I think, the night one definitely be the Glasgow street fight between Joe Hendry and Chris Renfrew. Hendry came out to no music, doing his best Tommaso Ciampa impression, and he was clearly much hated, especially in the section I was, where there were quite a few people giving him the finger.
Yeah,
Hendry just does such a good job of playing the heel.
Yeah, Glasgow street fight, guys. Anybody got any thoughts on this? Well, obviously it was the end of the Renfrew Joe Hendry feuds. We got the expected stuff in it. We got the interference. We got them briefly going outside. But yeah, what's the thoughts, guys? Open it up.
It was quite cool to see a different side to the Joe Hendry. Like a lot of people would just say, especially they use this in the build up with the promo. Is he the insane and then insane championship wrestling? Could he go take it to the streets, so to speak? And to see him going about using bacon trays, putting Renfrew through tables and stuff like that, he really held his own. And the thing at the end with Renfrew kind of saying you are the insanity and kind of putting him over in that sense, puts him on to the next level, because obviously Hendry's had his call-ups now with Impact and Ring of Honor and so on and so forth, so it's quite a good thing to see the outcome of that, really.
Yeah. Anybody else got any thought? I mean, I quite like obviously the interference is one of my favourite parts with Leighton's.
Yes.
Leighton's the best thing in ICW.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed the match, Stephen. I have one complaint about it. Only one. I didn't love the finish. I didn't love the finish. No, the pass out. Tap out or be pinned in that scenario. It's an ankle lock he would speak with, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't pass out to an ankle lock.
How do you? He may have been in great pain.
I'm sure he was. Well, he should have tapped then.
You do understand, there's a thing with Renfrew, he does not tap out.
Yeah, he refuses to do it.
And it goes back to the whole thing with, when he dropped the belt to Damo, or now Killian Dane. That's that picture of him bleeding, getting that chicken wing crossface, and he's putting the middle finger up after the third checking if he's alright, and he did the same thing. That's the kind of nod to it. But I do see what you mean about the whole ankle lock. It should be a submission of some sort of choke or a head submission of some sort.
But see, I actually it does sound a bit weird, obviously, but just in terms of storytelling, I like the finish. Just because, it's saying that obviously Joe Hendry's not deemed insane in Chris Renfrew's eyes before this match, but he still managed to win it in a Joe Hendry way. That's what I think that I actually liked. He didn't have to step out. Obviously, he still stepped out of his comfort zone, but he didn't go too extreme, that didn't steer away from what he's traditionally known for.
Yeah, because there was a moment where he kind of chucked the chair down when he went to hit him as well. And it's no, I'm going to win it my way.
He's like, I'm a wrestler. I'm not a fighter in the way, but he is still a fighter. But he's a technical wrestler, and I think that's why he's just like, look, I want to prove that I can be insane, but I can still do it in my own way.
Yeah. It was good because he did what he said he would do. He out wrestled Renfrew. He proved he didn't need to resort to weapons, even though it was a street fight, to beat him.
Yeah, exactly.
Even from the off when Renfrew was there and used a chair, Hendry decides to try and out wrestle him instead.
Did the right guy win? Anybody's mind here, Joe Hendry?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really excited to see the direction ICW do with Joe Hendry now. A bit darker
now.
That could be interesting. Something we could come across when we talk about Night 2 later.
Yeah.
That was the one disappointing thing about the two nights. There wasn't really much mention of the contract.
But that was a really good match, and obviously a good win for Joe. go on to Sarah now. Sarah, what was your top moment from this night?
Well, see, it wasn't a match itself. It was the return of Liam Thompson.
Yeah.
That was my, like, I know you guys told me to calm down at one point because I was that damn happy. But obviously, the last time we seen him, he was cutting a promo in Edinburgh just before Barrowmania. That was like the last time we seen him, and obviously I was pretty much greeting because he's a hometown boy. He's from Edinburgh, so obviously that's one first reason why. Obviously, I'm going to support him more than anything. But it was the fact that we were under the impression that he may never come back, and then obviously when he started popping back up around about the indie scene, I was like, I really hope that they bring him back. I don't care about his homeless gimmick. I don't care about that right now. I just want to see him back. I didn't expect to see him back to help out Ravy Davy. When we were trying to find out who was under the scarf, we were like, that's too small to be Xander. For a while I thought it was Mark Dallas for like a wee while, but then obviously as soon as that scarf came down and seen it was Liam Thompson, you heard the eruption in the entire room, and obviously, yes, like I said, you guys told me to calm down, but I was like, I will not calm down for Liam Thompson. I love him so much.
Yeah, because Gary Derrick, you didn't see this one live, you watched it on demand. It was great that Billy Kirkwood tried to figure out who this was. They were like, it's Xander. Oh wait, that's not Xander. He didn't do me like that.
He didn't have raffle tickets.
This was a great way to start the show. Perfect timing to get the crowd really on fire because the place really popped for Thompson's comeback. It was a great start to the show and really set the tone for what was to follow.
Well, it was less about the match and more just about that. I mean, the match itself, it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't exactly it didn't really set the world ahead of.
It was one of the matches that was it felt like it was absolutely thrown together. Was at the Fight Club just before it got announced. Yeah. It felt like filler, to be honest. The stipulation made little sense. The winner gets to go on to fight James Storm. Makes complete sense for Drake Davey to fight James Storm. Would have benefited from some more build to it. Because the kid fight angle that they went with and being left out rings true. And could have been built, but that match did feel like it was, for me at least, felt like it was thrown together.
I mean, my question with the whole thing, maybe briefly talk about night 2, is also if he came out to help Ravy David night 1, why did they not help Ravy David night 2?
Well, he was going up against James. He was going up against James Storm. He did the smart thing and tried to not mess with James Storm. Have you seen? Because James Storm is terrifying, as we saw.
Yes, I know.
Well, see, one thing I will say though, like. What you're describing there, the sequences, I think it more sets up Liam Thompson versus Kid Fights at the Hydro as in Fight Club.
Fight Club 1-on-1.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's the only way they can really go with it. Now, if he didn't have any involvement to help Ravy Davy again. So, but no, the pop was great. It kind of. There was other pops over the weekend that maybe quite outshone it, but it did show how big a pops they were because this was a big pop.
Yeah. Definitely. I think one of the things you were saying there, Stephen, about Billy Kirkwood, I think ICW are missing a trick by paying to get mics so the fans can listen to Billy Kirkwood, because I was listening to his commentary and it is hilarious when you're watching it. It's so good. Could you imagine all the guys sitting, could you imagine everybody eared up to Billy Kirkwood and then you just hear these random laughs everywhere about the stadium as well? It'd be brilliant.
The commentary he gave for the tag title match was priceless. He said about Easton Reese and Bram as this is where Tinder ends and Grindr starts. And seeing most of the shows live, you missed most of his commentary from it. So I had never heard Martinez Bronco Buster referred to the yeast infection before.
Yeah, I mean,
another bit was when Leighton get put through the table by Renfrew and he was rolling out the ring, and Kirkwood said, "Oh, he looks like Diana looks now." I was like,
I quite liked in the opening match where it described where Kid Fight had been fighting, and he said he's fought everywhere from Cumnock to Copenhagen. What a range! And on that note, we'll move away from Liam Thompson and we'll go on to Stacey. What's your highlight of this night?
Well, the way that they've actually been said so far has actually been in my order of like the list that I had for this. That's right, Jackie Polo actually wasn't at the top of my list. Like the Jackie Polo Lionheart match.
Stacey, you're letting the Justice Warriors down.
I know, but Mikey Whiplash and Helico, come on. The next ones that I've got are kind of like, they're joint kind of thing. So, well, like, I thought that they were just as good as each other. So, Martina coming out with Bram and Eastern Reese.
Civic
and Kez turning on BT Gunn.
Evans was going to show up.
I knew it was going to happen. As soon as he started appearing with BT Gunn, I was just like, oh god. I was like, Kez can't play a face to save himself. I was like, he's going to turn on him eventually.
This is Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels all over again. He's going to turn on him.
Knew it was going to happen.
Do you just compare Kez to Shawn Michaels?
No, I compared him to Marty Jannetty.
Oh, good.
Makes more sense.
That suits him better.
One thing I will say though, I am interested to see how this all goes, because the promo he did cut, let's be honest, it was quite good to like highlight all the other people that have come up the ranks from the asylum, from different schools and so on, and saying what's BT done? Nothing for me kind of thing. So it was quite a good backstory to kind of highlight, okay, so this guy was brought from the asylum, this guy was brought from PBW, this guy was brought from Source, and so on.
Quattro, have you got any other points that have been mentioned?
Yes, I think what I'm going to pick is within the tag team title match, there was a big melee outside, but within it there was a really big spot of Bram. Yeah, I was actually saying Bram doing a swanton off the speaker down to Jester on a table.
I can't believe he did that.
Yeah, no.
That was amazing.
Jester did take a really sore one, and you can see like he was injured after it, but fair play to the guy. He soldiered on and still gave us the match and everything. As well as that, was started with the reveal of the new tag team championships, which I got to hold, and it's quite heavy, I would say.
Oh, they're really heavy. They're so heavy.
With your new tag team partner.
No.
Not happy, Quacky.
Well, I was using my free birds rule.
The Dudleys did break up on the last episode of VSSR, to be fair to you guys.
That's true.
We're on a break.
Just like
good thing Ross isn't here.
He'd say the exact same thing.
But yeah, that was a cracking spot with Bram in that tag match. That was actually
I was actually quite disappointed that Alpha Evil didn't actually win for two reasons. One, up until that point in the night, I was 4 for 4 in the sweepstake, and that was my first wrong one, so that hurt.
I think that was most people's like first loss. So like, oh no, they're totally winning. No.
And the second one is, I actually think the Kinky Party have actually been quite underwhelming this tag chance.
No kinky, no party, Scott.
Wow.
Well, I like the match with Looking Sharp and Craig at the last cycle. That was entertaining.
They should have won that match. They should be the new tag champions.
Other than that, come on, like they had the match at Barony, the Multiman match, which was just a mess. And I remember the match with Bird and Boar that got interrupted. It was so forgettable. I didn't remember any spots of it the very next day.
Wow.
Oh.
Something I will say is personally, I disagree, but anyway, I think like both of them bring a new dynamic to the tag team division, really. Of course, there are people that I would love to see hold it, and I'm sure you all know who they are.
Yes.
But I would not...
Me and you, mate. Me and you.
Yeah, apart from me and you, mate, Derek, of course, number one, but number two, I would love to see Kings of Catch up there.
They deserve it the most.
They do, they really do deserve it. However, I would say that Kinky Party have brought a new dimension and a new bit of fun to because it's easy to take the division weight. It's easy to sit there and say, "Oh no, that's not serious enough." No, it's sometimes good to have a kind of lightheartedness, but at the same time, still doing big spots, still doing great wrestling. I mean, Lucia. I mean, how brilliant is when Sha turns into Lucia? It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good. They are a very good tag team. So. Yeah, that's been some of our highlights from night one. Obviously, there's so much to get through. We couldn't get through everything, but that's some of the picks we've had. Now, before we talk about night two, let's talk a wee bit for a quick 5 minutes about the venue. Now, obviously, it was a last-minute change. It was meant to be in the ABC, but obviously, tragic circumstances meant it couldn't be in the ABC, and they moved it to the Academy.
Sportatorium.
Sportatorium. I can't what?
Oh, no. He lost twice. He's going to start jobbing. Move on.
How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you?
Anyway,
No
Sportatorium,
heat.
Academy, whatever it's called. Guys, what did you think of the venue?
I loved it.
It was amazing. Awesome.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The Academy has this thing of being big but small at the same time. So it has this thing of just creating making good acoustics and making a very good atmosphere, like a sort of cauldron, so like everything gets amplified, and it's just so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, the acoustics were amazing.
The venue looked incredible from the inside, particularly the set and the logo set they had above the big screen. It looked great. That big setting they had there.
Mm-hmm.
It really gave it this. For me, it gave it this big event feel. I thought it was great. And one of the things I loved about it was the sort of different vantage points that you had throughout the venue. There was loads of different places that you could stand and get a really good view.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And as well, and also there were loads of bars about the place as well, which was awesome.
Yeah, the two bars ringside were great because they were always pretty quiet and didn't have to go all the way up to the top. It's amazing. No, I'd love to see them go back.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. So Fear and Loathing's home seems to be the Hydro, and Barrowmania is obviously at the Barrowlands, sorry.
Barrows?
Barrowlands.
The Barrows.
Gary, a speaker from the 1939s.
So this place, could this be the new home of the Square Go and Shugs going forward? Is it?
Hopefully, yeah. It's a great place.
It's not even like it was hard to get to as well.
Oh, 5 minutes. 5 minutes for the city.
5 minutes for the city centre, and like it was very, very decent. I loved it.
When you look at the setup, it's hard to think that this was kind of a last minute thing, because when you look how everything looked, you'd think that this had been the intended venue all along.
Yeah.
When actually this was kind of very last minute, but it looked great regardless.
But no, it was great. I loved it. Other than paying $4.90 for a Carlsberg. What? I mean, if it was a different type of beer, fair enough. Carlsberg for $4.90.
Oh yeah, and you can get those 2 pint cups as well, which was really handy.
I used to work in an establishment that sold £1 pints of Carlsberg. That's a rip-off.
Essentially what we're hearing is about the Academy is it's an alcoholic stream. There's bars everywhere, and you can get 2 pint cups.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're a short alcoholic, it's your dream venue.
Absolutely. Right, and let's now move on to night 2 of Shug's House Party, and I'm going to start off this one with Sarah.
Ooh.
Yes. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo on my phone here. Sarah, what's your favourite of night 2? You've got the full choice of the show.
And I'm going to pick the best one. I'm sorry, guys, but Grado's return.
Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly, I've never. I don't think I said this in a tweet on Monday morning. I didn't think I'd ever get to hear like a prayer in ICW ever again. And like I was standing around the side of the venue and they were sound checking it, and it kind of spoiled the surprise a little bit for me. But I was just like, oh my god, they're sound checking Madonna. They're sound checking. I got so excited. And obviously I got the video of him coming in. I seen the video of Grado backstage as well, and you could see the passion that he was nearly crying, and it made me cry a little bit. But just the entire venue, you had 800 to maybe 1,000 people. I don't know how many was in the venue, singing like a prayer. Apart from Laura and Courtney, who were standing beside me, they were just like, I am not having any of this.
It's amazing. I mean, we could probably talk about the actual Grado and the other parts of the match separately, but actually having like a prayer.
I know. It was so good to hear it again.
I turned around to just see Gary, and we all know Gary, Mr. Party Animal.
old snake kept there giving a yeldy.
I was doing the bouncy with the big dog at that point.
Alan, who decided to wear his Gradle t-shirt on the Saturday.
Oh no.
Nice to pick it. It's like we knew he was coming back night 2. Why did you wear it on night 1?
I know. I said it to him, going, nice choice to wear your Gradle t-shirt, Alan. He came up to about an hour later going, I didn't actually know Gradle was on tomorrow, Stephen.
No, it's not like they didn't hype it up or anything.
Our panelists have their finger on the pulse, don't they?
Like, just like the actual big dog, he doesn't care unless he's in main events.
But no, that was I mean, what's Buckaby said has not been said. It was just a great moment having them back.
Mm-hmm. It was so heartwarming.
Oh, it was fantastic. Just hearing that song starting to play, and it was like, wow, welcome back, Grado.
The only other show that I've been to that I've seen Grado and ICW was Fear and Loathing 9, and they didn't use like a prayer dance. This is the first time I've actually been in the crowd when everybody's singing along. I've watched videos of it, but I've never been there with everybody while they were singing it, and
I bet that was a treat for you.
Yeah, it was you never. It seems loud when you're watching it, but when you're amongst it, it's just deafening. I couldn't even hear myself sing, which is probably for the best.
As Sarah said as well, the backstage video that came out yesterday as well was good with them as well, right before they came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, but we all love Grado. Who doesn't love Grado?
I know.
Well, apparently Laura and Courtney, because they refused to sing.
That's a call out right there.
I still love them guys. No, it's no call out. I love them to pieces.
That's a call out.
And I must say, if he was in a match with anyone else, I would have been cheering for him, but I couldn't cheer for him in that match.
No, I was still cheering for him.
Oh, see, we might talk about that in a wee bit, but Grado's return itself, amazing. You know, words can't describe it. I'm so happy.
It was also Jeff Jarrett's obviously introduction of him, and you're just like, he's such a cool guy. I love you.
Oh, now we may have the introduction of the Kinky Pinky Party.
No, this is where Jessica can just start getting jealous, because obviously Grado and Shar back together like with the original Pinky Party, so you might get jealous a wee bit.
It was when Jeff Jarrett was introducing him, and Stephen was standing directly behind me, and he tapped me on the shoulder like a little kid on Christmas Day going, "It's Grado coming in, it's Grado coming in, it's Grado coming in."
I can see all the excitement in your guys' eyes. I was like,
I was literally like slapping my t-shirt. I had the extra self t-shirt and just going, "Go Grado."
I mean, I didn't expect him to be in the match.
It was great, you know. I could talk about Grado all day, but we don't have that amount of time. So yeah, Grado's return, absolutely spot on. I'm now going to go on to, let's go to Stacey.
I think one of my highlights of night 2 was the Kez Evans and BT Gunn match.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. With
£2 for that game.
Sarah was killing herself laughing throughout because everyone was cheering for BT Gunn, and then in between that, all that she could hear was me going,
I know, I was just like sitting there standing going, Stacey, what are you doing? She's like, someone needs to support him.
There was a very vocal anti-Kez movement in the crowd. It was fair to say.
Comparing them to Simon Gotch, first of all.
Oh, that was
watch that. Yeah, so Kez Evans BT, we talked about the Kez running at the end of on the night 1 in the first half, but actually seeing them in a match.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have predicted before the weekend Kez Evans would have actually got a match on the biggest show of the summer?
I wouldn't have expected it, but it has been a long time coming.
No.
So Kez was in, I'm pretty sure he was in the square goal.
Oh yeah, he was in the square goal for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, he's been popping up on the independent scene, and obviously, like, I've watched him in GPWA. He is actually really good, and may I add, like, I do want the Hands Men's Club to reunite in ICW, so it's like Kez, Sam Barber, and the Purge.
To go back.
It doesn't sound like, yes.
The handsome Michael.
You may as well just throw Ross in that crypt.
Whoa. I throw Ross and Stephen, and that's it.
But no, I want them to unite in ICW.
And Ked's obviously got the win over BT.
Yeah.
Exactly, which was even better. So you just heard me cheering at the end, and then everyone going. I was cheering.
So did I.
I wasn't booing.
So did I.
I said that this is quite an interesting. I think I said in the preview show, about the future of BT Gunn as well. Now in ICW, now he's just been beat off his trainee. Yeah. What do you guys think is going to happen to him now?
Well,
he's going to go dark side.
Well,
I think
maybe.
he's going to I think he's going to be Renfrew's tag partner for this tag match against King of the Catch.
Well, reunite the NAK.
Yes.
Ooh, NAK getting
bring
back
the
together.
band back together.
Get Psycho as the theme tune.
Oh.
Unfortunately, we won't be allowed that.
Oh God, I know, but
I'm going to cry in the corner right now.
What about Kez? What's Kez going to do? Is Kez going to feud with one of the coffees or something? I don't know. Kez for the 0G?
Eventually. No. I would say eventually, not right now.
I can see him do something very dastardly with the whole 24/7 contract.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
I can see him trying to get Now you mentioned that is actually quite a good shout.
Nice.
If he beats Kieran Kelly for that contract, I swear to God.
Facebook
Kieran will have a match at the Hydro regardless. We all know that.
I've seen it on Facebook. A lot of people have a lot of theories about the 24/7 contract.
Not as good as
about the outcome of the Stevie Boy and DCG match.
Taking it off of him.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, that's what a lot of people were saying on Facebook.
Kieran Kelly's on holiday and Stevie just happens to be there.
Yeah, that's one that I was reading as well.
Don't go out the country. Just stay in Scotland.
You're safe here.
St Andrews is lovely. Go there for your holidays.
No, go down to Henderson Castle. There you go.
And before we hear about Gary's holiday,
I had a lovely time last week. Thank you for asking, Stephen.
Scott, what was your highlight of night 2?
Actually, I've also got a tie here for night 2.
Right, go for that.
It's tied between 2 moments. The first moment is when the world's greatest singer, the world's greatest entertainer, and the world's greatest wrestler came out to confront Jeff Jarrett.
Yes!
Yeah!
I was really proud of myself when I thought of that.
The sheriff of these old parts.
Oh, yeah.
What was your second one?
The Texas Death Match.
I love how Stephen just moved on. He's like, I am not talking about Just Justice right now.
Yes.
It's silent and everything.
The Texas Death Match. Can I just make a point? Wasn't there meant to be a 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Count after it?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Stephen, when he pinned it, I went, and everyone was cheering, I'm like, he's still got a count to 10, and everyone's like, and Steiner's announced that the match is open, I went, wait, what?
Maybe they thought it was too convoluted.
Okay. It was weird. I mean, it was a brutal match. I mean, Derek, you got a good video of a good Ravi Davies counter for the Hurricane Rana.
Oh yeah, I loved the match. That looked sore. That looked very sore.
Also, a lot of people know James Storm as partner with Bobby Roode and Beer Money, and there were 2 great chants during the show. One of Bobby's more successful and people in
the glorious
group of singing glorious.
Just to say a word on James Storm, I mean, we've seen lots of imports come into ICW over the past few years, and so many of them have phoned it in when they've been there. You cannot say that about James Storm. That guy has given everybody their money's worth out of it, and in this match in particular, they really left nothing out, did they? So credit where credit's due there.
I hope he comes back.
It was a super kick with a spa bag.
that spa bag.
Yeah.
When you listen to Billy's commentary as well, he always goes mental about, will people stop selling thumbtacks to wrestlers? We know where he gets them from now, Billy. Spa.
I actually said that. I said that to Ross, I think it was, in the crowd when I seen the thumbtacks come out. I turned to him, I said, why do they keep selling thumbtacks to wrestlers?
Did anyone else want Davey to actually batter him over the head with that bottle of Iron Brew?
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Who was it that got hit? It was the guy in front of the big dog got hit with some of the glass from the beer bottle.
Laura nearly get hit as well.
Yeah, some of it came to me as well.
Laura, did you get hit with it? No, she didn't.
Yeah.
But she was safe. I got hit with it.
Just here, Stacey. She's next to me.
This is well I did.
She's next to me at this point.
What?
So
This is well no one did.
I won't say yeah to that
This is
bit.
well no one did. Probably just as well no one got hit with the Iron Brew ball, because if I had been original Iron Brew, I was just going to waste.
I think that's why they took the label off it.
we should quickly talk about Just Justice and Jeff Jarrett. It's got some other point. The world's greatest guitar shot.
Oh, that was amazing.
I couldn't believe it.
That looked sore.
No.
He couldn't get off his head.
I know, he left the stage.
He went back to the car and with it still on.
That's commitment, in my opinion.
I know.
Yeah, how good did they sell it? Even though I don't like the guy, how good did they sell it?
Incredible.
It was amazing.
Goes to show how good
You
the guy actually
you
is.
Say, but I'm sure you will sit there and say you respect the work he puts in to make you hate him.
But it was just justice. It was.
It's a guy you love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
Or in my case, I love to love.
As soon as he started the whole Justice thing, and he knew Jarrett was coming to ICW Shugs, you knew this was a confrontation that needed to happen, and it would have been a disappointment if it hadn't happened.
It would have been a missed opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This is the end of Just Justice now.
No.
It'll keep going.
Never.
Hell no.
No.
He's too good. He's got
No.
to stay.
That was nearly like the reaction I got when I said the Kings of Cats were going to split up.
No.
And look how that turned out.
I know, all the hate you got.
I'm thinking it now.
Oh,
It was just a theory.
And it was wrong.
Fear and Loathing. Fear and Loathing. It's going to be Just Justice v Jeff Jarrett, Fear and Loathing, cowboy hat and a pole match. I'm telling you now.
See, it's just as well.
Something's going to be on a pole.
It's just as well Derek is not a wrestling promoter, because if he had his own promotion, he'll have The Undertaker and Kane on to do a DNA test to prove they're not brothers. He is that type of guy.
I'd watch that.
Let's move away from Derek's theories and get Derek's analysis. Derek, what was your highlight of night two?
Too busy laughing at that. I'm going to steal the limelight again and take the main event. That's 2 in a row done. Stevie Boy and DCT.
Oh,
How good was that?
So many spots in that match.
The shock.
Yep.
So much drama.
So it's a fantastic match.
The shock, the streamers.
And me crying at the end.
Almost felt like crying.
I was crying.
And how good is DCT's new entrance music as well?
Yeah. How good she's
That is true.
It's just
But I do really like DCT's new music.
Yeah, I think it's too much like Rocky.
It is actually Rocky.
But yeah, what a match it was. You know, I had a hard one to follow the night before with Lionheart and Jackie Polo.
Oh, I blew it out of the water though.
Really? I thought the first night of main event was better.
Oh no. I thought DCT and Stevie was much better.
Of course you did, Stephen.
I think this match helped that it probably had lower expectations going into it, because this match was not supposed to be the main event, was it? It was supposed to be Coffee versus Coffee, and I think they've done a great job. Great story, great drama, the little run-ins that we had. Poor coach spent about 30 seconds on his feet.
Got get beat up by Kaylee Ray the whole time.
But what a super kick.
What a super kick.
Oh, what a kick.
I mean, say what you want about Coach, but that guy can take an ass kicking.
Oh my god. You know what I loved as well, actually, was bringing Minnie Shame out. Little Minnie Shame came back.
We've got Coach's biggest fan on the pod tonight, and Derek.
Oh, yes. And he had these nice new white clothes on, and they got bogging on that floor. It's a travesty.
Yeah, that was manky at that point.
No, that's not coming out.
It was,
and also, fair play to him, he kept his shades on the whole time he was getting his ass whipped.
I know.
It was
Man of style.
It was everything that we expect from a Filthy Generation match. They were all there.
Of course.
Absolutely chaos, you know. And the finish, I mean, surprise much, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
I was shocked, yeah.
I was crying.
Yeah. Very surprised.
Like, I was going to be sad either way, personally. But,
both good friends of the pod, the two of them.
yeah.
DCT followed us on the Sunday, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm so told. He followed me on Twitter. I was like, oh god, I can't pick a side.
But you did.
I did.
Of all the matches on that weekend, I think that for me, that was the hardest one to predict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stipulation that they added to it was one of the times that you really couldn't tell where this was going. You know, often you get stipulations added to a match, you think, well, that just makes it obvious now. Kid Fight versus Ravy Davy, for example. That stipulation to this match, I couldn't have called it.
Yeah, totally. But
it added to the drama.
It's an interesting.
Oh, definitely.
Go. I mean, obviously, Lionheart called out the champion for Fear and Loathing. Will DCT still be the champion of Fear and Loathing?
No. Not sure.
Who's the real contender?
No, Justice will beat him before then.
No.
Oh.
Lionheart will beat Justice 3 for the title at the Hydro. Come on.
Justice has lost twice in 2 nights.
That's what we all.
This is there, back of the line. Back off the line.
See,
He's behind Kez in the pecking order.
I'll be honest.
How dare you?
I'd be quite happy if Kez went further up the pecking order.
Classic, sorry, you make the point.
He's never going to get ahead of Just Justice, though.
You can only dream of being ahead of Just Justice.
Exactly.
I'll be honest. I hope DCT holds it. But if it's not going to be DCT, the way I can see the Fear and Loathing, there'll be a triple threat between Lionheart, Just Justice, and Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I can see
Joe Hendry would be a good shout, actually. He said at the end of his match, obviously, he did the signal saying he's coming for that belt. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe's in the title picture by the end of the year.
Yeah, but Leighton's going to turn on him. It's going to be like Virgil and DiBiase all over again.
It's going to be so sad.
Oh, it's going to be...
Can we talk about that for a second, actually?
I was wanting to go back to that as well.
Go for it.
That was so sad. Making Leighton beat up his pal. Like, I was half expecting for Leighton to literally turn around and smack Joe with a chair.
Oh, you should have put out the that out, I think.
If the earliest that'll happen will probably be the Hydro.
Oh, that'd be great. It'd be the best moment. It'd be the top of the night.
See, I think it would have got more of a shock if he'd actually done it at Shug's, because it's just like bang straight in there. There we go, and just have him running away for a wee while.
Oh, that's great.
Like becoming pals with Q and Kelly.
Oh, yeah. what a thing that would be.
And can we just say, poor Xander. He just came out to help his cousin, and then his best friend turn on him, and poor Xander.
It's really bad luck.
Xander's a bit of a jinx, isn't he? You really wouldn't want him hanging about with you.
Coach.
He may be a jinx, but a lot of people buy raffle tickets off him.
I know. Him and Davey are like epic at selling raffle tickets. Like every single time I'm like, God damn it, I've got no money, but there you go. It's like, just take my money.
Davey didn't like twist your arm to buy raffle tickets.
Not quite. It's just when his words, he always manages to convince you somehow. I don't know how he does it. I think that's why they get him to do the raffle tickets, because he can just do it. I don't know how he does it. It's like magic.
Right. So let's move on then. Gary, you've got the pick of the rest of the card here.
Yeah, well, you've taken quite a few of my ones that I had earlier on. One of my highlights of the night, and I did not expect it to be a highlight of the night, was Jeff Cobb.
Yes.
I knew very little about him going into this show, and was, I was not that fussed about the match, to be honest, with Aaron Echo, and was really impressed with the match. Really enjoyed it. I thought Cobb, for a big guy, he can move and put out some spectacular spots from it. I thought they two had a great match, really enjoyed it, and would very much like to see Jeff Cobb again.
Yes.
Oh, he's brilliant. I mean, he's a strong boy. He is strong.
Yep.
The spot of the match was when he did the fall-away slam from out the ring to in.
Oh, yeah.
And Echo went a good bit off the deck.
I knew a little bit about Jeff Cobb. I know he's in like companies like Lucha Underground, like PWG, but I knew he was a big guy. But I didn't realise Aaron Echo was taller than him, which was a surprise.
Aaron Echo is tall.
Yes,
very tall lad.
He is very tall, very, very, very tall. What do you think when you talk about Jeff Cobb? There's one with Echo in this match. I mean, he was no slouch.
He held his own.
He put a shift in.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, because obviously he's got this feud with Kenny going on in the background. Obviously, because Kenny wasn't there, so he had a lot of doubters. But this was his chance to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right there about people having doubts against him, but he definitely turned up on the night and proved a few people wrong.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of the shots Cobb was giving him.
I know, it treated him like a champ.
I mean, we didn't really talk about him in night one, but obviously everybody thought Walter was going to be the slapping guy. But no, Jeff Cobb, I think I did him in some of the ones he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fair to say, but no, it was a good match. It was another one that exceeded expectations. That was a big theme of the weekend. A lot of matches exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
In terms of the future for it.
Yes, saying that, like, on night one, I thought the Walter BT Gun match was fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going back to Echo quickly, do you think the Kenny Williams feud's the next step for him?
Yeah.
They
can't just shove that to the side. They've put too much effort into this for his best friend turning on him and highlighting the fact that they were best pals. So if Kenny is obviously touchwood available for the Hydro, I can see that being something, or even just like having a sort of focus of a multi-man match maybe a wee bit, but I don't see them shoving it to the side.
Too much went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kwaku, anything that you want to add that's not been mentioned?
Yes, may come as a surprise, but I'm going to mention Kings and Cats versus Hunter Brothers.
Really?
Yep.
Don't do that to my tag team partner.
That was amazing.
That's
so funny.
It's just see before the start of that match, they play rock paper scissors, and Lewis was playing like a wee homage to Friends, going, "It's fire, it beats everything." I love that. I was howling at that.
Oh, that was a top quality match. Two really good tag teams at the top of their game.
That's what happens when when the young fucks go around, as they're called by Billy all the time.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, one of my highlights of the match was Kwaku reciting the name of every Kings of Catch double team move.
Including the one named after him.
No, they didn't do that then.
So they're going to phone him when they use it, and they didn't get a phone call at any point before that.
The Quacker Driver 89 wasn't used that night.
I bet you were so upset.
No, I was actually fine because I got to see the 4K, I got to see Power Mode, as it was named on that day I interviewed them, and Afterburner.
Oh dear God, what have we done?
Just because you're best friends with them there.
Just remember, any wrestlers, if you're needing a new name for a wrestling finishing move, just let me know.
I'm sure they'll bear that in mind.
The wine cocktail.
Wine lover.
Wine lover.
Wine lover.
The wine lover.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So...
Can I talk about something that disappointed me about the week? 2 losses for Jody Fleisch. I'm calling bullshit.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I see what you mean. I knew it was a stretch to predict him to beat James Storm, but come on. Could he not have beaten Andy Wilde?
No.
Hell no.
No. He was in for a wild night out and he got one.
Which one of you two, Gary Derek, asked me who's in the Wild Boys?
That was me. So he's the leader of the Wild Boys. So who's he leading?
Me. I'm one of the Wild Boys.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with that.
I googled it and got some very weird answers.
Wild Boys.
I don't know the tag team. Wild Boys is Andy and Jackie Polo.
Yes.
So he's they are a fantastic tag team. So that he's kind of the leader of that. And all the fans go on a wild night out with the Wild Boys.
Yes.
The best thing to come out of it.
Second is Nathan Fisher.
Right, so before we finish up, Kwaku has accumulated some fan responses.
Yes, I have.
That he got in a few hours before the show. Kwaku, give us some highlights.
Yes, so normally, again, when I say I went to get some feedback from our listeners, and obviously we were inundated with no messages, but again, we were inundated with loads of messages, so thanks very much. So please bear with me. So going to kick off with Grant McRobbie, great listener of the show, says, I was at night one for me. It was one of two things. The surprise result of BT Gun versus Walter as it was a solid match and the post-match promo with Evil and Mikey Whiplash was so good. Then we move on to Louise Westy, who says number one on the list for me is Lionheart's match with Just Justice and the kicker of the Styles Clash.
Mm-hmm.
Then we move on to Vicky Cornwall. Being there on night one, BT versus Walter, it didn't disappoint. I wasn't there for night two, but Grado's return would have been my choice. The place was just insane, and she was spot on. Charlie, who's at Charlie BXNKS75, having been at night two and watched night one on demand, there was 3 moments that stood out to me. The first was Kez Evans turning on BT and beating him on night two. The second was Grado's pop when he returned. The third was Kings of Catch versus Hunter Brothers. So it really speaks volume there. I asked for one moment, and these people can't nail down with one. However, I did come to one person who did give me with one, which was Chris McCulloch at CFC Chris89. He says DCT winning the title. Hashtag O. And Sean Smith, another great listener, says the Glasgow Street fight. And the big thing he liked was night one, Liam Thompson's return, and Mikey Whiplash versus Angelico, and the promo after the match, and also Lionheart kicking out of the Styles Clash. Chris Horrocks 31 says Tesco Value Young Bucks or It's a Cobra. So he's referring to.
We didn't mention we forgot to mention the women's triple threat.
Yes. I don't want to talk about the wee man.
Are you getting ready for a match of the Hydro, Steve?
Somebody's a bit salty after that video.
Steve's got a match of the Hydro coming up.
We haven't a triple threat match.
See, on the note of the women's match, I love the moment of Evil pulling out the baseball bat.
Yes.
I mean, Casey pulling out the baseball bat and who's there? Evil. And it just made me wonder, how long was Evil under the ring?
Not very long, I don't think.
I hope not.
We've already had this debate.
She could have crawled out from under the steps that led to the ring. It was fine. She's a small girl, it's okay.
Okay. I hope he wasn't there for too long. But no, so yeah, obviously Tesco Value Young Bucks referring to what Renfrew called the Kings of Catch. Daz Carding, he refers to Angelico versus Whiplash, and he said equals technical clinic. Exactly.
Yep.
Past pan was Div, also known as David Grivison, or the Sultan of Low Pan Media, who's got his ICW album out. He says he just personally loves it all, and he thought the whole show was better than last year's, and it's absolutely true.
Yes.
Now we have a champion who actually put in his response to us. None other than Alexander Darwin McAllen, the Source Wrestling champion. He said, all-round good show. It was great to see Kez Evans getting a shot to show what he could do. Jackie took a guitar shot better than anyone in the history of guitar shots. So, thank you very much for that one there. Moving on. Now, I'm moving on to our Facebook comments. Declan Johnson says, Grado's return. Jeff Jarrett smashing Jackie with a guitar. I then replied to him, loved the first, not so much the second walls, which then proceeded to him posting loads of pictures of the guitar around Jackie. So, Declan...
In true Declan fashion, well done, Declan.
What a man,
Declan, what a man. Fuck you. Anyway.
I second that.
It's hard enough to get into the show sometimes, come on.
Declan, he knows I love him, really. Next on to Ben Palmer, who says, Joe Hendry on night 2, dark as fuck. It really was, and he highlighted Leighton's back after getting to the powerbomb on attacks.
He's now the prince of hardcore.
Now, this is where the resident translator would struggle with a name. Christopher Yakomine, I don't know how you pronounce it. Grado returned Viper because she's Viper, but DCT stole the show. What a moment. Viper because she's Viper. Couldn't put it any better myself. Stephen Blair, he says, Angelico whipping match, Jeff Jarrett segment at start, Walter Beatty, Bram's dive, Jody James Storm, Lionheart Polo. Can I just say all of it? You pretty much just did, Stephen. Bethany Williams also goes for Angelico versus Whippy. Grado's return, especially using Madonna and him joining Shat and Jester to form the Kinky Pinky Party. Matthew Gregson says Angelico Michael Whiplash was everything I wanted and more. Lionheart kick out post Styles Clash was amazing. Insane reaction to Grado. Seeing him in ICW ring again was just beautiful. Chris Daly says Hart will kick it out at 1 after the Styles Clash. David Fleming says so many, he pretty much names everything in the show, so he says LT's return, Bram Speaker Dad, and Hell Cold Michael Whiplash, Lionheart Polo, Just Justice, Jeff Jarrett, Confrontation, Grado return, but the big fight atmosphere for DCT versus Stevie Boy tops the lot.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen Bevington says Grado return, that pop was massive, and the crowd singing Like a Prayer is still giving him goosebumps, and also loves how it wasn't muted on demand, and also how Billy Kirkwood says fuck you Madonna. Neil James also goes with Lionheart kicking out after 1 at the Styles Clash. It was his favourite moment in wrestling, pure emotion. Matthew Gregg says Falter versus BT and Liam Thompson returning. Gary Collins says Yellow turn into gold, hands down, closely followed by Bram Swanton off the speakers, in turn closely followed by Joe Hendry becoming an utter dick, and that's his quote, prestigious one, not mine. Christopher Craig says the return of LT, Lionheart's response to the Style Clash, and also get him tilt in reference to the chants going to Evo towards Michael Whiplash, and DCT celebration. Michelle Teresa says LT return, the Just Justice versus Lionheart match, and Night 2 DCT taking the belt. William Fawcett just replies with hashtag Wild Boys with a love heart.
He does love Andy Wild.
He does, certainly does. Paul McKenney, good fan of the show as well. LT hashtag Wild Boys, Bram off the speaker, latest back tax Al, and Helico, the best goalkeeper in Glasgow, and I'm quoting here. DCT shocking the world. Brendan at Brendan J466, he says Grado return was truly wonderful. When the music hit, I just about injured myself. Thankfully he's not injured, but he's alright. I mean, imagine explaining that to the nurses in A&E. I injured myself singing Like a Prayer in some venue.
Oh yeah.
Alan at A Ashman 90 at Lionheart UK kicking out of the South Clash at 1 again, night 1, and then Grado returning night 2. And moving on to, this is the weird one when I had this pop up. We had a Steve-O Wilson commenting, and I thought this is Steven just using an alter ego of some sort. The championship and the spare change in the tin holder clearly has got to his head, but no, it's a better upgraded Steven Wilson, I'll say. So this is Grado's return, and Jackie Polo gets his smash with a guitar. Jimmy Smith.
That was definitely me.
One of your accents that you use. Anyway, Jimmy Smith says LT returning and hard to be hit with. Never mind kicking out of the Styles Clash. Made me pop big time. Grado's return was something to behold us also. Moving on. Now, the reason why we're all here doing this show, Ian Milne, he replied with Grado return and DCT victory. He is the reason why ESSR has become card subject to change this week. Chris Thompson eloquently put all of it. Chris Horrick says Renfrew's Tesco Value Young Bucks promo and Wee Man's That's a Cobra in your entrance video. Like, how many times have we seen that video? Have you all noticed it was a cobra? I certainly didn't.
No.
Like, I knew it was a cobra, but never put 2 and 2 together.
I don't pay that much attention to that.
It was still funny as hell.
Still salty.
Viper, if you're listening, I still love you and I always will. Ryan Perry, favourite moment was Grado returning with Like a Prayer. Polo getting hit with the guitar. I've had enough of Polo getting hit with a guitar. Say something else, people. No, I'm only joking. DCT becoming champion. Now, we also had a response from Molly Spartan herself.
Ooh.
Yes, and she replies eloquently with Liam fucking Thompson.
Yes.
Jim Blackley, great man himself. In reverse order, LT return Bram off the speaker and Polo get to smash with the guitar, and that prompted Declan to post more pictures of the guitar photo. So I understand why I was a bit salty towards Declan.
Never let them two go to like do anything together because they're just as bad as each other.
Nah, it's. I'm trying to think of the biggest double villains you could think of. The VOD villains. Yeah, we'll go with the VOD villains.
It's them two,
yeah.
The VOD villains.
The VOD.
That's the best villains you can think of.
I would say the bald villains, actually. They're the bald ones.
I can't think on the spot. Charlie Banks, now he went for an odd one. The reaction when Simon said the BBC was quite a highlight when he said the BBC are in the building. I'm just glad the booze quickly diverted when Thatcher Wright came out.
I've never been so thankful to see Thatcher Wright.
Just brilliant was when Simon just went, "Don't be arseholes."
Yes. It's true, but hey.
It's like Simon doesn't know us at all.
It was so bad that even Dallas came and went, "Fuck's sake,
Yeah, no. What he said was dead, absolutely spot on. But as well as John McFarlane, for me, has to be from night 2 DCT winning the world title. No one more deserving to win it. To see him going from the bottom to the top is a moment. Sounded like a Drake song there. I love it. And we have Alan Weir. For me, it was when Lionheart beat JJ. The whole, as a Just Justice, not Jeff Jarrett, the whole thing with Grado gave me goosebumps. Also, maybe not a favourite moment in context, but Bram Swanton suggested was unreal. I also appreciate the love for Hartle winning. Might not sit well with some of the team there, and he was laughing, but it was right up there.
Yeah, I know, he's laughing at me and Stacey.
Dean Reed had to be Grado's return for me. Coming out to like a prayer made it even more special. And now I could go for a cider.
Wow. You said you got feedback. I don't think you were going to get that much feedback. Jeez.
See what I mean?
Feedback, yay!
That is the biggest segment of this.
That's amazing. Excellent.
It just speaks volume of the show, really. It was just absolutely fantastic. It blew everyone's expectations. And when I said, I was strategic and I said your favourite moment, and like, people were basically listing the whole card. It's like they were promoting the card before.
No, I think it's fair to say. I think that's the best way of showing how good a 2-night weekend it was, and it's probably up there as one of the best ICW shows. Obviously, both the shows together. They've ever produced. They've had a solid year, I think it's fair to say, and I think it continues the momentum to the next garage shows and to the Hydro. But no, absolutely fantastic, and thanks everybody who gave that feedback. I'm sure Quacker will thank each and one of them individually.
I already have. I'm on the pulse, my man.
He's been busy.
A thank you and a link to this show.
You know me, I like a shameless plug.
And an autograph from Ross McLeod.
Stephen, we actually want listeners now.
I know.
Whoa. Careful what you say about a fellow member of the Roscoe brand. Thank you very much.
Exactly my point.
I mean, only people who are in the Roscoe brand can slag other members of the Roscoe brand. So if you want to slag Ross, you need to join the group.
Scott, you can talk about your toss club later on.
Stacey, Kwaku, shall we?
Can I slag him because I fired him last week?
I don't know, Stacey. Can you slag me?
Oh my god!
They invited him.
That's right, the Roscoe brand is everywhere. Don't put arseholes, as Simon said. I'll hand you back over to my associate. And Kwaku Stevie Serra, just remember you're on the show tomorrow. So if you want your sweetie privileges revoked, this will not continue.
No, give me the answer.
Now, good day.
Scott, you're such a grass.
I know.
It wasn't a grass. I could hear Kwaku's booming voice as I walked by the room.
Oh dear.
Now, good day.
Thank you. Go back to your toss club headquarters.
Historic.
And on that note, I think it's an appropriate time to end
Yes.
this Shug's Party 3 review show. I would like to thank my panel for joining me this evening in this Prod 2 podcast. So I'll start with Stacey, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Scott, thank you for being here. Not thank you for putting Ross on.
This might bring something extra to the show.
You certainly did that.
You did bring something extra. You brought something shite.
Quickly before he comes back, for Sarah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
To Derek.
Thanks, bro.
And to Gareth.
Thank you, Stephen.
And to Quacker, who could now take a breather after that long recital.
I'm already having a cider, so be about yourself.
I've been Stephen Wilson. This has been Suplex Retweet. See you later.
Listen, cunts, I don't care what the f*** you think you're doing. Whatever you think is more important with your life, you honking bag of dick. quick tips. You know what you should be doing? You should be going online, you should be subscribing, you should be listening to the back catalogue of Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet, whatever the fuck you're doing, that's what you should be doing. I don't care if it's your mum's birthday, I don't care if she's feeling contractions, get on it right now.